I went on a date last night and I couldn't quite figure out what the guy's problem was, but I think I finally figured it out. He like couldn't be happy for anything that I was saying. Like pretty much anytime I would talk about myself, he would like tune me out, and it was very obvious that he would stop paying attention. I would ask him questions like, "What do you do for work? Oh, you do this for work. How do you like that? How long have you been doing that?" Like so many follow-up questions, and then he's just like, "Oh, what about you?" As soon as I start talking, you can tell he's like looking around, like not paying attention to what I'm saying. If he would say something back, it was something like so backhanded. Like I was talking to him about how I'm a personal trainer. I just got into it. I'm really excited to like build my client base. And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, personal training's pretty easy. I have a lot of buddies that do that. So like I think that'll be good for you."
I think the bigger issue here is that the guy's certainly not interested in what she has to say. If you're on a date with someone, you, as a guy, are going to have to be paying attention. If you're not interested in what she has to say and you're not interested in the girl, then just cut the date early and move on and don't waste your time or hers. But if you went to the date to have a good time, just enjoy yourself, have a good time, make conversation. You just don't have to be sitting there with a bad attitude. Let's keep watching and see what else happens next.
Like just shit like that where it was just so backhanded and couldn't actually be genuine. No follow-up questions, just like a backhanded comment. I think what it is, I think it's envy because a lot of guys are very, very intimidated by success and someone who has a strong head on their shoulders, somebody who has a dominating personality. I would say I have a dominating personality.
Now we found a real issue in this situation. And again, I'm not excusing the guy for being rude or not paying attention, but the way that she's describing herself and the fact that she thinks that is envy, it really says a lot about where her mindset is and probably how she's approaching dating. And the conversation was probably very self-centered and maybe her trying to show up all her accomplishments, which that is also a way to show disinterest instead of trying to ask questions of him and trying to engage. You can talk about yourself, but you have to be engaging and you have to also be asking the guy about things about him and this. But if she's sitting there just describing herself and talking about all these things, and then she's using this coded language, right, of I have a strong head on my shoulders. Strong head on your shoulders, what to me what that translates to is that it's somebody who's very stubborn, who's very full of themselves. And then on top of that, she says that she has a very domineering personality. Well, there's your biggest red flag there. Domineering personality on women is gonna be most likely rejected by a guy. If that's how she comes across, then the guy is definitely going to be put off by it. And maybe that's why he was essentially just ignoring her, just tuning her out and had no interest in what she had to say. It's not because he's intimidated. It's not because he's envious, like she says. And then the common pattern I start to notice in these type of situations is that when a woman is being treated this way and she's facing rejection, she tends to twist that around to aggrandize herself. So again, instead of trying to understand maybe where communication broke down, she completely twists the situation to say, well, he's envious of me and I'm so great and I'm so smart and I have such a strong personality and acts like that's a positive thing and that she's successful and then the guy just must be envious and jealous about me and that's why he was put off by it. He just could not handle a strong independent woman. That's her approach to this instead of just trying to be humble and understanding the situation. And the safer choice would always be to try to rationalize the situation instead of trying to find out where you might have gone wrong.
I would say I have a dominating personality. They are very intimidated by that. I should say boys are, men aren't, but boys are very intimidated by a dominating personality and they fear confidence because a lot of them just want a woman that is at their beck and call and will just be like a yes woman. They're so envious of the confidence that women have when they have a strong head on their shoulders and how they portray themselves and how they're not scared or not just going to be that doormat. So I'm not sure why I'm attracting guys like that. I definitely don't have a personality to be walked all over. It's just
So again, where she's going wrong is that she thinks that the opposite of a boss babe is a doormat. It's a woman that is gonna allow herself to be mistreated, that is gonna allow herself to be used and and told what to think and all of these things. And that's not what it is about at all. So she thinks that because guys aren't interested in her demeanor and her antics of being a boss chick, she thinks that it must be because they want the complete polar opposite of that and they just want somebody they can mistreat. And that's not the point at all. They don't want somebody who's going to be too egotistical and self-centered. They don't want somebody who's going to be domineering, like she describes. They also don't want somebody who's just going to be a pushover. They don't want somebody who they can just, mistreat and all of those things that she's describing. It's not about that. It's just trying to find balance. It's about trying to find somebody that you're going to be compatible with and be able to get along with, and that you are going to be able to have a good male and female dynamic. And that's really what it comes down to. It's not about just being dominated or just domineering a woman. Is about having a masculine and a feminine in that relationship, and those two aspects come with different traits.
Really getting old, the not being able to ask any questions about the person you're with or even genuinely care what the other person is talking about. I don't know, but the date did not go good. He will not be hearing from me again.
And I don't think you're going to be hearing from him either. This is what dates are supposed to be for, okay? They went on a first date, there was no chemistry, things didn't work out. Fine. That's perfect. That's what you're supposed to do. It's also a process of elimination within itself. Where people start to go wrong with this is because instead of having perspective, they just choose to rationalize and make excuses for themselves and make excuses for their own behavior instead of just trying to have more understanding and even empathy for where this might be coming from. So my final fatherly advice is that when you are dating and you're getting to know people and if you want mental clarity about why something's going good or why something's going poorly, you're going to have to detach your ego from it so that you can see things clearly and you can have different perspectives. Once you're able to have that insight, you're going to be able to proceed in a better way, whether it be with that same person or with a new one. But that's all I got for today. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and I will see you on the next one.